Hi everyone. How are you doing? I know. Hello everyone. For those of you who are new, my name is Jewel, hence the name of the channel, Delicate Jewel, or you can call me Juju. That's my call name. If you are new, welcome to my channel. I hope that everything that you have seen on this channel has brought you some type of joy and encouragement. For all of my old viewers, hi. I know it's been a while since I've been on here. Hopefully in this video I will be able to explain myself and it will make sense. So how are you doing? Leave a comment down below and let me know how you're doing, how you been, how are you guys holding up with all that's happening. I actually did record a video and I have it sitting there. It's private. I recorded it on the 1st of October and I was supposed to make it public, but I haven't. Why? I don't even know. Lately, I've just been having a lot of I don't know moments. So I'm not gonna sit here and try to make an excuse for why I have been away from this channel. I just wasn't, or I haven't been motivated to record anything. It's just a lot that's happening in my life. I'm just trying to hold on and not give up, you know, because life is hard. But all in all, God is good. He's in control, and I know that nothing ever takes God by surprise. We're the ones who get surprised. We could be going going along our way and then boop, run into a whole concrete wall and slam face first right into it. I'm just trying my best to rely on the Lord more as opposed to trying to take matters into my own hands or try to map out my own life, because when I do that I always tend to cause more harm than actually a solution. I really want to be more disciplined in what I'm doing on here on my channel. I really want my channel to have a direction. Whoever watches me to walk away with some type of lesson, or you know, as a Christian woman, I have to really start sharing the gospel more so that whoever sees my videos, whoever it's meant to help, will get the help that they need. A lot of the issues that I've been facing has a lot to do with the past. I know that we're not supposed to keep looking back, but I keep doing that, and I believe it's because a lot of questions that I haven't really gotten my answers, and every time something arises in my life, it could be the smallest thing, it tends to knock me back so many steps, and it's so hard to get back to where I once was. And that's because I've been trying to do it on my own. So now I'm learning to just trust God, trust Him, just be completely dependent on Him, and know that He will always hold me up, because He's been holding me up all my life. You know, Jesus has been in my life all my life, even when I've strayed. He never let go of me. He allowed me to go but so far until He said, no, you gotta come back. I want to be more open with you guys. I don't know, I thought I would have been ready to sit here and tell you, oh, this is what happened, and no, this is what's going on, but I guess I'm not 100% there. Alright, y'all, it's gonna be a long video. I have nothing written down. This is all gonna be just from my heart. By the way, I got new glasses for those of you who have been watching me. I am a Christian. I was born and raised in the beautiful South American country of Guyana, and I migrated to the United States when I was a teenager. I've been living in the United States for a number of years, more than 10 years. My birthday is October 10th. I recently celebrated my birthday. I am married. I've been married for a year and change. My husband is currently in Guyana. We do not have any children together as yet, but he does have a son. I do work. Most of my education was done in Guyana. I did nursery, kindergarten, grade school, high school, came over here, finished high school, went to college. I did not graduate from college. That's one of the things that really bothers me. I studied business administration because it wasn't really what I wanted to do. It was what I thought I wanted to do. But what I really wanted to study in school was music theory, and I wanted to study English. I also had a little interest in law and a little bit of interest in photography. When I first moved over to the United States, it was my mother and I am my mom's only child, but I do have siblings on my dad's side, so I guess they're my half siblings. I don't really have the best relationship with them, and it's really hard. I guess they would say it's all my fault, but I grew up in Guyana pretty sheltered, I would like to say. My mother was around. My father has never been a part of my life. Left way before I was born, and he never looked back for me or anything like that. But thank God that he's been my father all my life. And hopefully I don't get emotional. I can feel the tears starting to come up. But God has been my father all my life. He's provided everything that I've ever needed and wanted growing up in Guyana. Did not grow up rich or anything like that, but I must say I never had a want for anything, and I thank God for his kindness, and I thank God for my mom because she worked really hard to provide a good life for her and I, even though she didn't come from much, you know. She wasn't married or anything like that. So God's been good. One of the most memorable things I can think of at this moment is I always wanted a bicycle. My mom used to ride her Benotto and I used to be on the back of her bike, and this is when I was in grade school, the first grade, and I remember my mom had bought me this bike, a purple and white BMX bike. Everyone knew me. Everything that I ever wanted, I got it. It's not to say that I'm spoiled or anything like that. It's just, to me, how I look at it is that God really looked out for me as a child, because he already foresaw the future and he already knew how my life would have turned out. You know, with all that's happening in my head right now, he already knew that. So it was as if he cradled me, him and my mom, they cradled me, and yeah. Anyway, fast forward to moving over to the United States. We were living with my uncle. He has since been deceased. Him and my mom were very close when they were growing up. So I was really happy when we moved here and I was able to meet him. I spoke to him over the phone a lot, and I was so fascinated with this man. I admired him and my mom's relationship. I met his wife, their children and everything, and I was so happy when I first moved here, because I'm like, oh, you know, I had this whole idea of how life would have been like on the television. You know, like how these shows portray families, and you know how the Cosby Show portrayed families. I thought that, oh, it's gonna be like that, but it was not. The first, I want to say 2 weeks wasn't bad. After then, things started to go like this. I know this video is going to be long. I'm going to try to make it short. I'm a very observant person. I I guess because I'm an only child, talking much was never my thing. I'm gonna go back a little bit to when I was younger. My mom told me stories of when I was in kindergarten and how I was a bit more outgoing. I was one of the most outgoing students in my class. And then she said one day she came to pick me up and my teacher called her aside and asked her what was wrong with me. And my mom said, nothing. And the teacher said, well, Joelle, she was always the outgoing one, but now she's a bit more reserved. And my mom said that when I was younger, I went to her and I asked her if I had a father, and she said that I guess I overheard where I used to stay. I overheard the caretaker talking to someone about me and mentioned that I didn't have, or my father wasn't around her. And in my little mind, I probably thought, oh, I don't have a father. All these other kids got fathers and I don't have one. So it really took a toll on my life from since then. I grew up very, very, very shy. It's crazy. And to this day, I'm still somewhat really, really shy. After I moved here, after the 2 weeks of bliss, things started to just go downhill. I began to observe some things with my uncle's wife. And I had this diary that my mom had bought for me in Guyana. It was a green, and it was in this plastic cover thing and the pages were green, and I had a pen, and it had a really nice bubblegum smell. And I used to write in this diary, and used to write about this woman's behavior, certain things that I would notice about her, and so on and so forth. And I used to leave it in the living room. No, they had the living room, then they had like the dining room area where we had the computer, and I used to leave it. They had a cabinet thing, and I used to leave it on there, and it had like a lock, a plastic lock on it, and I used to put the lock on it. And I remember one day, I think it was her and I was in high school and everything, and I'm gonna fast forward. I think it was just her and I that were at home. And I think I remember, because she used to be a nurse and she used to work at night, and I remember leaving the diary there, and I was in my room, and I remember hearing her come down the steps. The steps used to make a lot of noise, and then she went back up the steps, and I came out the room and I went into the dining room, and my diary was gone, and I did not see that. I have not seen it back since, right? But I knew that she read it, because a week after that happened, her whole demeanor towards me changed. And let's just say things became really, really rocky in the house. I started to experience things that I've never experienced before. I know my mom used to discipline me, when I did wrong things and stuff, but this lady started to, get physical with me. I was physically abused 4 times, to the point that the police was called to the home, social services was called. I was even in the hospital. We stood before a judge, all kinds of stuff. I had to get a restraining order against her and all this stuff, and I would go to, it affected, when this stuff started happening, it affected my life tremendously. I was in high school. I lost interest with that. I was doing really well. My grades started to plummet. I couldn't go home in the house and stay there. Once she was there, it was court orders. I used to have to go and stay by my uncle's friend's house. It was just crazy, and my mom couldn't do anything because she had to work. My father was in Georgia. He had his own stuff going on, and it was just a lot. Growing up in Guyana, I never experienced anything like that, and it was just crazy. that stuff really affected my life for like a good 8-9 years. I struggled so much with who I was, and then I started to think about, you know, my father not being in my life. I was searching for my identity. I had graduated from high school late. I graduated late and went to college. I really wasn't ready for college, but I just went because it was a thing to do. If you're a parent and you're watching this, and if your child is not ready for college, don't force them into it, because I'm not saying that my parents forced me into it, but I thought that it was the next thing to do, you know. Once they're ready, then they should go, because then they will excel. Because I didn't excel in college. I mean, I'm not a stupid person. Had a really great education, but I just wasn't, I couldn't focus because of all that was happening in my life. The enemy, the devil, kept me focusing on all of the storms around me. I was so depressed. I became depressed at an early age. I thought about suicide so many times. I became rebellious. I used to party and drink, and I used to do a whole lot of wrong things because I didn't know who I was. I went to college. I stayed in the hometown that I'm in right now for like a year, and then I thought, oh, let me move to New York City. Maybe I'll be able to focus more there, because I wanted to be in the entertainment world, and I figured New York City is the city where dreams come true. Maybe I'll be going to class and I'll bump into somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody, and it will be like a catapult to my dreams be coming into fruition. But it didn't work out that way. I was staying at my dad's parents, and that was a whole other story. You know, come see me and come live with me is two totally different things. And there were some things that was happening. I didn't, to be honest, I never really felt loved or accepted by my dad's parents per se. And because, like, I never thought that they really got to know me, you know, got to sit down and have a conversation with me and, you know, let me get to know who you are. What are your likes? What are your dislikes? What are your dreams? What are your, you know? I used to sing a lot around the house because music used to really help me to escape my reality. I really love music. After I'm all over the place. After I transferred from the college that I was attending up here, and I transferred to a school in New York City, I switched my major. I switched my major to liberal arts because my goal was to go study music. I was going to go to Brooklyn College. Then, from Brooklyn College, the goal was to attend Berklee School of Music in Boston. I wanted to graduate with music theory, with a musical degree. And people try to deter me from it, but I'm like, this is my dream. I don't want to be in the medical field. The medical field is not for me. Education, I can definitely be in education. I remember two of the classes that I was taking was a voice class, and I was taking choir, and I used to sing all the time. I used to really look forward to those two classes. One day, I'm not gonna say who it was, but let's just say a family member said to me, I think I was telling them I want to be a singer. I want to, you know, I want to be a singer or whatever. And they said to me, you will never be a singer. That's what they said to me. I will never forget. I tell anyone this story. That was the first time I ever felt the pain of words. When this individual said to me, you will never become a singer. Those words, I kid you not, when it came out of their mouth, pierced me. It was like a sword, and it pierced my side. I felt it, and it stood there, and it was stuck there for 7 days. I will never ever forget. And that person, I went into the room that I was staying in, and I laid on the bed and I cried. I wept. I cried. I called my mom and I told my mom, and I wept so much. And that literally killed the dream that I had to become a musician. I stopped pursuing it. I used to take a voice lesson. I think it was once or twice a week with this Trinidadian vocal coach. And I stopped doing that. I stopped pursuing music. I was like, I'm done. Oh my goodness. Be very mindful of the things that you say over people's lives and over your own life, especially when you're angry. Long after feelings change and the mood is gone and you're in a better mood, those words that you said when you were angry or when you were being spiteful, they always remain. And however it may have affected the individual or even you, it will start to bear fruit. So that individual never apologized to me. They're no longer in this life. They have since passed on. And it's okay because I've forgiven them. And I'm just sharing this story with you guys. I don't know who it's going to speak to. I don't know who it's going to help, but the goal is that all that I've been through in this life, I understand that it is not meant for me to keep it and to harbor it, but it's for me to share, so that whomever's watching, wherever they're at, you may be going through similar situations and you may not feel like there is hope. My job is to point you to hope, and hope is Jesus. Anyway guys, I know this video has been all over the place, and if you made it through to the end, thank you for hearing me out. And my only request is that you would keep me in prayers, and I will keep you in prayers. I'm gonna end this video off here. Thank you so much for subscribing. If you continue to stay subscribed, thank you. If you feel the need to share this video. And I will see you soon, the Lord willing. Bye.